Hi, this is Robert from Lucidworks. In today's Fusion Learner Series, I'll be discussing how to configure an Active Directory security trimming for a Windows file share collection. I'll be going over the security aspects within Fusion, Windows file share permissions, security trimming, and finally the demo. In this high-level diagram, we'll be concentrating on the security features within Fusion as they relate to protecting access to the underlying Solr data. Windows File Share uses share and NTFS permissions for access. Permissions are inherited unless explicitly given to an object. For Fusion, we need a crawl user that has read access to a Windows file share collection. A couple words about security trimming. The objective of security trimming is to mirror the group and user permissions of a Windows file share to the actual index data in the collection. Fusion leverages Active Directory to perform user and group lookups to verify access to a specific document within the index. Therefore, any changes made to a Windows file share object or file will need to be re-indexed to reflect its current state within Fusion. Here's an overview of security trimming, how it works within Fusion when querying. The user credentials are passed into Fusion. Fusion will create an LDAP query, which will query Active Directory and return a set of user access control lists. These access control lists are then compared with the specific documents in the collection. Let's go ahead and start the demo. Here I'm logged in as the admin. I'm going to go ahead and create a collection for a Windows share. Before I configure the data source, let's take a quick look at the Windows environment containing the Active Directory and Share folder, which I'll be crawling. In my shared directory, I have two folders, one named Engineering and another HR. We have two groups, Engineering and HR. Each group has a set of users that have access to the corresponding folder. So Lucideng can only access files that are in Engineering. Both folders have 2 documents each. So we'll go ahead and configure our data source to index them. So we go ahead and click Add Data Source. We select File System, Windows Share. We'll be using advanced features. So let's give this data source an ID. And make sure I have my values. We'll be using the default documents parsing pipeline. This includes the Tika parser, which is needed for parsing the different files that we can encounter within a directory. For example, PDF documents, PowerPoint, and Word. So we'll be able to extract the data using the Tika parser and search with this data, the index data. We don't have a Windows domain, so I'm just going to add the file system URI, which is the IP of the machine and the name of the Windows share. we're keeping these values as defaults. I want to give a crawl username. So this is a user that you'll need to, that Fusion will use to actually crawl the data. So it has to have at least read access to the data you want to crawl. We'll be turning on security trimming. This will tell Fusion to index the access control list for each object that it finds in the directory. We'll be providing the Active Directory user credentials. So we need a user, we need to provide the URL to access our Active Directory. And we're going to do it on secured port 389. Then we need to give it a principal user. So this is a user that has access to run queries against your Active Directory. So it's normally an admin user or somebody with privileges to query and look up users within your Active Directory. So we're providing a user filter. This tells Fusion where to, Active Directory where to look for users. So depending on the structure of your LDAP directory, you want to search the type of object class. And in our case, we'll be selecting object class user. So we want, this is, we're going to look up users based on the SAM account name, which accepts a parameter which Fusion will populate when querying data. If you want to configure group filters, you can. So we're going to leave the rest of this information as default. And click Save. And we get our first problem. I believe I put an incorrect password for our super user. Let's try it again. No, it's dev-admin. Perfect. So we're ready to crawl data. We're ready to crawl a Windows share. Let's go ahead and click Start. Great, we have 4 documents in our index. Let's go ahead and see these documents. So this looks good. Now we need to configure our query pipeline. So let's go back to our menu. Under Query Pipeline, let's select our Windows Share default. And we're going to add just one stage, which is our security trimming. We click Save. We don't need to add any conditions for this to run, so we'll just go ahead and save it as is. Let's place the security trimming right before our Solr query, so it can add the user ACL to the query before sending it to Solr. As we can see, when running this query, now we see we don't have any results because the logged in user is admin, and admin is not a user within our Active Directory. So let's go ahead and log out as admin. I'm going to try a user on our engineering group. His name is Joe. We're going to choose our LDAP realm, which corresponds to the LDAP that's on our Windows box. Click Login. We go into our Windows Share collection, and we see 2 documents returned. So as you recall, that engineering folder has two documents, and it looks like these are the ones that we are expecting. Let's go ahead and try our HR user, Mary, and see if we get different results. Let me select the realm. And here we have two documents, which should correspond to the documents we have in our HR folder. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.